I'm really happy that I'm starting Vijay CC1 today. So today I'm going to talk about, say something about myself, share my experience of moving from a small town to the city of Bangalore, my memorizing skills, and the reason why I chose to do CA. Good evening once again. Good evening. So I basically come from a middle class background. My father was a banker in Vijay Bank. My mother is a housewife. So because my father was in a transportation job, we've traveled to a lot of cities. So initially we were in Coimbatore. We then moved to Ahmedabad. From there we moved to Mandya, and finally settled down in Bangalore. I did the initial part of my schooling in Ahmedabad and Mandya. In Mandya, I did my schooling in school in Carmel Convent. So we were there in Mandya for about 5 years. I was always good at academics. Was always in the top 5 in the class. So after my 7th standard, my brother had also finished his 10th standard. My father felt we should move to a bigger city for higher studies. So that is when we actually decided to move to Bangalore. So I did my schooling in Bangalore. I did my high school in Vijay High School. So those days, Vijay High School was a very big, very popular school. Used to get 20 ranks a year. So here I was from a small town like Mandya to the city of Bangalore, and in such a popular school. So for me, it was a big change because in Mandya I was actually one of the brightest students in my class. And here I see everybody, had got scores of 98 and 99%. So for me, it was a big change. Suddenly, I actually went into a shell, became very reserved. Actually, had this huge inferiority complex in me. Because suddenly, I was nowhere in the class. In Mandya, I was in the top 3, top 5. Suddenly, here I was not even in the top 25. I used to get 30, 35th rank because everybody was a topper here in the class. So it was a huge change. It took me a while to actually come out of the shell. Yeah. So that was on my experience of moving from small town to Bangalore. Talking about my memorizing skills, so this is where I actually picked up my memorizing skills in Vijay High School. Although I always used to memorize, suddenly when I came to this school, I thought that people used to memorize the full textbook. They used to tell me that to get a good score, you need to reproduce whatever is there in the textbook. So they used to, memorize the full textbook and just reproduce the same text in the exams, be it history, be it science. So ultimately, I became one of them as to, memorize the full textbook, the full textbook. And this continued in the CA exam also. So any theory subject, I used to memorize the full textbook and to reproduce it in the exam as it was pattern. So when I was in Vijay High School, at around the same time, my brother was doing his PU here in Bangalore. So he was 3 years older than me. So I had seen him struggling all the time because he had taken up science. He used to attend his regular classes. He used to go to coaching classes. He used to study day and night for his CT exams. At the same time, I had my cousin here who was doing his CA architecture. So CA architecture, in CA you basically don't go to colleges. After you clear your PUC, you give an entrance exam and you do 3 years of architecture under CA. Basically, where you work under the CA and do audits, where you actually do the work. So he used to tell me, he used to enjoy this work. He used to tell me how he went to all these big hotels, how he went to a hotel Limerick, how he has lunch every day. Has offerings every day. So those days it was a big thing. I mean, very rarely do we. I had never been to a 5-star restaurant those days. So it was a big thing. I really wanted to do something like that. I didn't want to suffer like my brother. So that is when I decided I'm not going to do science. I'm going to do my CA. I'm going to enjoy my 3 years of architecture. I want to have good life. I want to have food outside. So that is what drove me to my CA. And believe me, after I started doing my architecture. For almost a year, I drank soft drinks every day. Every day I used to have one or two soft drinks. About a year. So I came to CA in 2004. My initial job was with KPMG for about a year. I then moved to a manufacturing setup for about a year before finally settling down in Mindtree. So I've been with Mindtree for the last 7.5 years now. I head the financial reporting function in Mindtree. My ambition in life is to become a CFO. My philosophy in life is to have maintain a balance of everything. My ambition is to become a CFO. I don't want to sacrifice my personal life. There has to be a balance of everything. Be it health, relationships, with passions. That is when you enjoy your life. With that, I conclude my